What's up, people? Back with another video. How you guys doing? What's going on, party people? Here to come back with another video, and now I am here to talk about the first video you did saw was the NFC playoff race, which I didn't talk much about, but now I'm here to talk about the AFC playoff race. Despite my 6-week absence. So, so far the 4 teams that look like they're going to guarantee a wild card race, well, I don't want to say 4 or 5, because it looked like from the fight, Denver and Kansas are in the AFC West fighting for the division win, as the Chargers and Raiders are standing 4 and 6. It is hard to believe that, apparently for San Diego and Oakland, the only 2 California teams in the AFC West, they look like they have a chance, San Diego to have a chance to be a potential playoff team, which is hard to believe. So, after Miami Dolphins get a win, San Diego, still managed to become a wild card threat. And for the Texans, who had the most incredible start, I gotta say it is disappointing that they are currently standing 2-8. They were up 2-0, and now they've been tanking so far. So hopefully, I don't know if they're gonna snap their tank soon, but I think I gotta see that happening. So they got to avoid this tank for the most part for the Texans. So what I want to talk to the Texans about is their struggles. They lost to Oakland, and I thought San Francisco would be there. They would have the recovery. They would be like 4 and 6. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening. For the most part, Matt Schaub, I think, is the big factor. The quarterback situation is the big factor, and they dropped Ed Reed. Ed Reed wasn't contributing much, unfortunately, with the points they've been allowing. J.J. Watt, I gotta say, I'm surprised about that, and it's very hard to believe. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call spade a spade. The Texans, I don't think they're going to get their rematch against the Bengals, because the 2 playoff appearances, they were in the playoffs. They beat the Bengals twice, and the Bengals got knocked off twice themselves by the Texans. So, Bengals, I think they're going to get a new opponent in the playoffs, so I could be seeing that happen, but I got to say, for the most part, it is hard to tell right now. I think New England may get a division bye, depending on, I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know where the tie-breaking lies or stands, but so far I checked it out. It looks like, So it looks like New England, I think, may have their playoff bye, but they are the champion division. But Indianapolis, they have the tie-break over New England based on the win percentage in conference games. So hopefully, if New England still continues their run, I think they will be continue them being in the top 3, at least somewhere in the conference, because I don't know if they were, 6th ranking or something. I think they were, 10 and 6. I'm not sure what happened, but they were in the playoffs, got knocked out against Baltimore. The other 2 years, or 3 years, they were one of the top ranking in the conference, especially after beating the Texans, but unfortunately losing to Baltimore, for the most part. That I have to say. So, Jets, they're still hanging in the wild card run. They are in 6th ranking, so I think one thing I have to say to the Jets, they have impressed me so far, Geno Smith. Say what you will about the fluke wins they have. New England was the biggest fluke win, but the Buccaneers, their game against the Buccaneers was a great display of what Geno Smith can bring to the table. Hopefully he does continue his run. Unfortunately, we don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully they don't collapse. They're facing Baltimore, which I don't want to lose either. I want to see Baltimore somehow get a playoff shot, even though Baltimore seems like they're kind of under the verge of elimination, which is hard to believe. So I have to say, and I have to go ahead and call a spade a spade. Baltimore, I don't think they're going to have a great playoff run if they were to make the playoffs, which is disappointing to say and hard to believe. And Texans, I think they have no shot at making the playoffs again or winning the division, let alone the fact that they are in no way, shape, or form of being in the playoff race. Same thing for San Diego. As unfortunate, they're kind of there. Well, I was going to say Buffalo or Jacksonville, because unfortunately Jacksonville, Houston, they're in the same pile because they have no playoff race hope in any way, shape, or form, which is hard to believe. And Pittsburgh, I think their struggling is surprisingly continuing. It's hard to believe they are 4 and 6 after being 2 and 6. But if Pittsburgh can regroup very quickly, I can see that happening. And yeah, I can see their speedy recovery. So Colts continue their dominance after their disappointing 2011 season, with Peyton Manning mainly having the abrupt injury. As it is hard to believe that Peyton Manning was abruptly injured and had to sit out the remaining of the season. It is very unfortunate, I have to say, and I'm gonna once again call a spade a spade. It was unfortunate. So, but with Andrew Luck, they did their best recovery. So yeah, that's what I have to say. That unfortunately, when Peyton Manning got dropped, but yeah. So I gotta say, so Denver and Kansas are still on their battle, and it's gonna be strange to see Kansas City in a wild card, even though they are the best teams in the AFC, let alone the fact that they are in the same division. So I don't know how Kansas and Cincinnati going to come to play, but if the Jets do make the playoffs, I can see New England. They're going to be facing their division rivals, well, hopefully, if they end up getting the second seed. So that's got to happen, so that way they could avoid facing the Jets too far early into the season for the most part. So, yeah, as much as I can see that happening, that's what I'm going to say to that. So, with Pittsburgh, I got to say, they did have some downfalls. They had a huge, devastating loss to the Patriots, even though the fact that it was a huge offensive game. Still kudos to that. Phenomenal game. And Baltimore, yeah, so that's what I got to say for the most part. Yeah, so that's what I got to say. For Tennessee, kind of hanging in there, but yeah. So, yeah, that's what I got to say to that. And, yeah. So, yeah. So yeah, that's just a little bit of that. But what I want to talk about is the Patriots and Carolina Panthers, which I did forgot to bring up. Jets surprisingly lost to the Bills. I don't understand how they lost that game. Just to go ahead and just straight up admit that was a completely puzzled loss. Buffalo should have been 3-8, even though I'm still, kudos to them for still hanging. They're still trying to fight in there, but. It'll be interesting to see two New York teams trying to fight to be in the Super Bowl. I ridicule that with my brother all the time. He ridicules me for saying that. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and be honest. My brother ridicules me for saying that joke, even though it's going to be experimental and he says ridiculous stuff. So, that's what I can say to that. So, but realistically, I can see Kansas. I don't know if they're going to be the Super Bowl team or New England and Denver. They look like Super Bowl potential contenders. The Jets are going to be looking like underdogs there, especially Geno Smith, doing okay for his rookie year. I think by a slight chance they may get in the playoffs. That's what I'm thinking. The same thing with the Giants. If the Giants can continue their run, which by surprise the Giants have been winning 4 games in a row, they had the disappointing 0-6 start, which did kind of hurt them. But, they seem to be bound for recovery. So if the Philadelphia doesn't shield their division-leading title, then we could see a slight chance of, we don't know what could happen. And then their next 2 games, they're going to be facing the Redskins, and I think Cowboys is their very next game. So, yeah, if they can beat the Redskins, which I do see that happening, Redskins, I think, would be their best game. They can still hang in there. So, yeah, Giants may sneak in 9-7. I see them being 9-7 again, 8-8. Just depends on how the Eagles shield their division leading and where the Giants stand in the conference as well. So far, I don't see they're in any tie-breaking fight so far. But Panthers and New England Patriots and Carolina Panthers. Just to say, I thought it was a great game. Great game. Cam Newton did pull on the final touchdown to win the game for the Panthers, and the defense, really showed off. I saw the end, and then I saw on my television. I'm like, wow, Tom Brady did face the challenge. He overcame a little bit. He was very smart, but still to no avail. Where the Panthers, made that final game-winning interception to send the Panthers to their seventh win and 6th straight win. Unfortunately, the Patriots have their 3rd loss of the season, but I still see them hanging in there with 10 wins. They got to get at least 10 straight seasons with 10-plus wins, or, I don't know, above 500 in some place, because the last 10 years, or the last actually like 12 years they were above 500. Like since 2000 they were below 500. Have that disappointing 5-11 season, but unfortunately they did face that bound to recovery, which I thought was awesome. So they are facing a little challenge between Broncos and Chiefs, but I don't want to think that they're going to face a disappointing loss. Brady and Manning, I think they are going to have the best rivalry showdown on Sunday night, which I am looking forward to on NBC, which I can hardly wait for. So that's as much I got to say to that, and hopefully you guys enjoy my video. And I'm about to head out, man. So, hope you guys catch this video. I'm going to post this on my blog as well. So, please check out my blog, RennieCali ADHD.blogspot.com. And hopefully I've been sending you the links. So, please check that out. Peace out.